Imagine a world where only 1% of the characters in the stories you know are like you. In South Asian literature and art, LGBT characters and themes are often underrepresented, which can skew our understanding of societal attitudes towards these individuals. Representation matters. It shapes our perceptions, influences our beliefs, and fosters empathy. Yet, the paucity of such characters paints a misleading picture of homogeneity. However, if we delve deeper into South Asian literature and art, we find a different story. South Asian classical literature, a treasure trove of diverse characters and narratives, opens up a world where gender and sexuality are not confined to binary norms. Epics like the Mahabharata and the Shahnameh are brimming with characters that defy gender stereotypes. Take Shikhandi from the Mahabharata, for instance. Born female, Shikhandi identifies and lives as a man, embodying a non-binary gender identity. Characters such as these lay bare the rich tapestry of diverse gender and sexual identities that were recognized in ancient South Asian societies. These narratives don't just exist in isolation. They are woven into the very fabric of the epic tales, contributing to the plot and influencing the course of events. By examining these characters and narratives, we glean insights into the nuances of gender and sexuality as understood by ancient South Asian societies. These narratives hint at a time when non-binary gender identities and fluid sexualities were recognized and acknowledged. The folklore and mythology of South Asia, a canvas of vivid tales and characters. They act as a mirror, reflecting the societies that created them, and in doing so, they reveal a fascinating array of gender-bending characters and non-conforming sexual practices. Take, for instance, the Hindu deity Shiva, who in the Ardhanarishvara form embodies a perfect fusion of masculine and feminine energies. It's a powerful symbol of gender fluidity and unity, challenging the rigid binary gender norms. Moving on to folk tales, we encounter characters like the Hijras of Indian folklore. Often depicted with ambiguous gender identities, these characters blur the lines of gender norms and are sometimes revered as auspicious beings endowed with special powers. These are but a few examples of how South Asian folklore and mythology engage with the themes of gender and sexuality. These stories, steeped in tradition, shed light on diverse gender and sexual identities. Artistic traditions of South Asia, a mirror reflecting myriad expressions of gender and sexuality. South Asian art, from ancient sculptures to classical dance, tells a story of gender fluidity and same-sex love. Take a look at the ancient sites like Khajuraho and Konark in India. Their sculptures feature erotic imagery that includes same-sex couples. This suggests a society that, in its time, acknowledged and perhaps even accepted diverse sexual desires. Similarly, classical Indian dance forms such as Bharatanatyam and Kathakali incorporate themes of gender fluidity and same-sex love. These dances tell stories not just of gods and heroes, but of everyday people and their complex relationships. They reflect a society that recognized the fluid nature of gender and sexuality and allowed for its expression in art. South Asian artistic traditions, therefore, provide a valuable lens to view and understand the region's historical attitudes towards gender and sexual diversity. These artistic expressions reveal a society that acknowledged and perhaps even accepted diverse sexual desires. Societal attitudes, a complex pattern of acceptance and stigmatization. This ebb and flow of acceptance and marginalization is apparent as we delve into South Asian societal attitudes towards LGBT individuals and relationships. Throughout history and across different regions, these attitudes have oscillated, mirroring the diverse and intricate fabric of South Asian cultures. When we examine the depictions of gender and sexual diversity in classical literature, folklore, and artistic traditions, we can't help but notice the varied interpretations. These interpretations, in turn, are heavily influenced by the cultural context and the values that hold sway at a given time. For instance, a character or narrative that is celebrated in one context for its non-normative gender or sexual identity might be stigmatized or marginalized in another. Exploring South Asian literature, folklore, and art allows us to appreciate the diversity of gender and sexual identities within these cultures and encourages us to continue these conversations today.